AITA to inform my husband that I would divorce him if he continued to defend my brother. My husband and I, 29, have been together since high school, and we were introduced by my brother. We have a beautiful 4-year-old daughter who adores Emma, my brother's ex-wife. My brother and Emma have been together for around 4 years. She is an incredible delight to be with, bringing out the best in him. Our entire family cherished her. At times, I felt like my parents loved her more than us, and the same was true for my daughter. Emma was a fairy princess to her, and every time we went to take her up, she would cry and urge us to go home and come back tomorrow because she wanted to be with Aunt Emma. Anyway, Emma was 26 weeks pregnant, 6 months, and we were all looking forward to it. My brother and she had always wanted a baby and seemed overjoyed whenever we visited them. She would have been an amazing mother. Emma had been feeling bad, and her stomach hurt, so she requested my brother to drive her to the hospital, where the doctors said everything was all right and sent her home. She kept saying that she didn't feel right, but my brother dismissed it as her overreacting. The next day, my brother, husband, and their friends went on a fishing trip. Emma urged my brother not to go since she didn't feel right and needed someone to be with her. My amazing brother became mad, telling her to quit overreacting, that everything wasn't about her, and that he needed some alone time. Well, he turned off his phone and proceeded on the trip. Emma called me crying and asked if I could come over because her stomach hurt. By the time I arrived, she was half-conscious on a bloody floor. Rushed her to the hospital, and the hospital told them they required her husband's signature to carry out the operation. There was a lot of bickering. Although they saved her life, we lost the baby. She woke up screaming and weeping, asking where her child and husband were. It was horrible. Both of my parents and her parents were in tears when they saw her. I kept calling the guys, none of them responded. When Emma finally calmed down, it was even more unsettling. It was as if she had given up, with no soul left in her eyes. My brother returned the next day to an empty, bloody apartment, ran to the hospital and apologized to Emma while crying. She looked at him with no feelings and asked for a divorce. My brother grew depressed after that, and he would spend his days drinking in the baby's nursery. None of us consoled him. I suppose we all blamed him in some way. My husband went to meet him, and when he returned, he told me about the above and asked that I apologize to my brother for neglecting him and go console him. I refused. He got angry with me and blamed Emma for the miscarriage, claiming that if she was truly ill, she should have gone to the hospital rather than making a scene, and that my brother was suffering as a result of her idiotic decision. He kept defending my brother, stating that it wasn't his fault that he wanted some alone time before the baby, and so on. I couldn't take it any longer, so I told him that if he kept defending, I would divorce him. I took my daughter and left for my parents' home. It's been 2 days, and neither of us has tried talking. I'm not sure if I behaved like a jerk. And recalling all he said, I believe I should at least console my brother. I suppose I wanted opinions? Edit. Before performing any life-threatening surgery, the hospital requires the patient to sign a waiver. This paperwork can be signed by the patient or their family. Because Emma was not conscious enough, they required her husband's signature. I was alone and confused, and it was a lot. The hospital agreed after much discussion, but it caused a lot of unnecessary delays. Info: it was a one-night trip, and they traveled to a cabin where they claimed there was no cell service. They did not think that there would be no network.